जो आपकी मर्जी है.
Yo, are you telling me that Ronins versus T6 में T6 scored 24 points in the first quarter?
Yeah.
See, like, did you know that? Did you know Ronins only scored 6?
No, but I don't really care.
And then in the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
it was
week one.
flipped.
This is week one
I know,
also.
I know. I'm just saying that was flipped. Ronin scored 22 and T6
This
only
is
scored
too
8.
much in-depth analysis for one game.
What are you doing?
Yeah, we don't have the time for this. Assalamu everybody, welcome back to League Report, where we give you the ins and outs of the league. Episode 2, game week 2 action हम cover करेंगे. First game that we're going to talk about is we're going to split it into C2 and C1. So this will be video.
Here's your host.
Oh यार ये नहीं बताया.
Ans.
They know who we are now. वो नीचे आ जाता है. Anyway, so Checkmate versus T6 was the first game of the day we're going to talk about. It was
week 2.
Checkmate coming off a loss versus the Malik Trojans had a tough match against T6, and it wasn't really easy for them, much easier for them versus T6. MMR went off as usual, had 20 points. Urad had 16 points and like 26 rebounds. Urad getting the rebound title for C2 for sure. So
I mean, if he keeps up this pace, you never know, later on in the season who he comes up against.
He will, I think he will.
He's a man on a mission right now.
Yeah, he's getting, because he crushed Ronins with rebounds, he crushed Checkmates with rebounds, and not to say Checkmate didn't put up a better fight, they did put up a better fight. I think Checkmates have a little roster problem. They have a big bench, and they don't know how to rotate it properly, and that's one of the issues they're facing. Some of their scoring, Faraz hit a huge 3-4 3-pointers, bank shot, and then Arbaz, his brother, also hit a few threes. So everybody but the regular shooters were shooting threes, and that was an interesting game. It was very fun. Also, there was a little scuffle in between, so there were probably points being awarded to Faraz and
I think this is a good time to let everyone know that any infractions that might happen will go to the disciplinary committee, and then they will review whether there's going to be additional points or it's going to be suspension. So keep tabs on the disciplinary committee and make sure that your teammates.
So MMR and Faraz will likely be I can't say, I'm not on the committee, but yeah.
Neither am I. I'm not on the committee.
So the phada bhi ho raha tha. Heated game thi, maze ki thi, it was intense, and T6 came out with it.
The second game we want to review is Dukes versus Trojans. Recently promoted or recently entering C2, Dukes versus the Malik Trojans, who were hard done last season, expected to be promoted and just fell short. And this season, they're looking like favorites again, 2-0. Very tough match. We didn't expect it to be, because we thought Trojans were going to take the game by storm, and it was close for a very long time, but then they just blew it open, I think.
On the back of Jazzy's spectacular performance, he's clearly carrying them. Clearly, he had 29 points
and 11 rebounds. And I think most of them came from the free throw line, because they just couldn't stop him inside. Anytime he would have the ball, they were just like, okay.
ऐसे भी नहीं कि Dukes don't have the bigs to stop him, but Jazzy was just a little better. And इससे पहले भी in the first game also, he had a big game also तब भी. And it's basically him and Muttaqi, Ali Muttaqi, the offense and the defense who are. Ali Muttaqi had a lot of defensive stuff. He had 6 steals. He was stopping all the fast breaks.
So threes as well.
Yeah.
He had an impact on the offensive end as well, and the defensive end.
So on the other side, the Dukes had Amir as their usual suspect. The boy who lost his ball, as I like to call him. Amir had 16 points, I believe, and then he was facilitated by Daniel, who had 21 points. And unlucky game for them. Malik Trojans are familiar with their game because they play scrimmages all the time. So they knew what to bite on, what not to bite on, and they clearly have more experience. So they came out with the win. But I'm very impressed by the Dukes.
I would also have to mention abroad. I mean, he played a captain's innings from lead as well.
Yeah.
Whenever they were shaky, he kept going into the paint and trying. Regardless of getting blocked or whatever, he just kept hustling, and a couple of times he got his own rebound and put back. So yeah, shout out to Abrar, and the Malik Trojans look like they're going to be contenders.
And Dukes as well. I am very interested in seeing how far they go along. C2 is very interesting as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, it's a learning curve, right? Dukes is a recent team. They have never played in lob.
Yeah.
And so they're going to take time to gel with the pace of the game,
Yeah.
the teams that they're going to come up against, and
Yeah, and the reffing
just
and
the
everything.
reffing and
Yeah.
understanding what the
Yeah.
foul situation is going to be like, how to even manage minutes.
Bilkul.
These are all part of growing pains,
Bilkul,
and I
bilkul.
think they have the talent, and the fact that they could keep up and didn't get blown out immediately
Yeah.
shows that there is potential
Bilkul.
there too.
Third game we're going to talk about is Ronins versus 1 Unit. Early morning game, बिल्कुल 5 बजे वाली जो game होती है उसको early morning धूप में खेला
You
बेचारों
can
ने.
tell he sleeps until 5 p.m.
Yeah,
which is
me
early
and
morning
Timmy
for him.
Malik, yes. So Ronin's coming off a tough loss versus T6, had to have this win. 1 Unit, they put up a really great fight. पहले तो in the first two quarters में Ronins were blowing them out on the back of this balanced attack by Zerko, Moyed, Maaz, Zubairi had 7 points. All these guys have played a really
Yes.
coordinated team game. They were up good. They were up like 10-20 points maybe. And slowly and steadily Talal started warming up. क्योंकि वो रात को चलते हैं ना, रात के बॉयज हैं सारे. तो Talal chipped away. He had 14 points in the end and
Chipped
19
away 1 unit at a time.
1 unit at a time. So
Unintended.
14 points, 19 rebounds for Talal, and then
Captain's innings.
he was assisted a little by Mubin. Unfortunately, fell short. It was really close in the dying minutes. Moyer hit a layup over Talal. He did the 2 small celebration on him, and full crowd into it हो गया था. Heated moment हो गया था.
And in the post-game interview, he goes, "Sorry, I respect myself."
मैं सीनियर है तलाल भाई, मैं तो उनके साथ मजाक है मेरा ये वो तो it's all good fun.
Yeah, as long as you're just it's well respectful
Yeah.
and it's in the heat of the moment.
बिल्कुल.
And nothing physical comes out
Yeah.
of it. It's fine, be happy. If you
Yeah.
do something good on the court, you're allowed to celebrate.
So 1 Unit has 2 losses now, struggling.
What do you think they should do?
I think they have a lot of veteran presence. Like the veteran presence is not really defending really well. They're slow to get back in transition. Talal included, Kashif also. The younger players are still coming back, but they don't know the proper way to defend. They're already fouling. बहुत ज़्यादा इस तरह का situation. They have a really tall kid who has a lot of potential, by the way. And they're not using him well. He doesn't also know how to play. But this is a team that has potential, and it has a lot of history. As I said before on commentary as well, they are one of the legacy clubs of Karachi. Playing बहुत पहले से चल रहा है इनका, from the times of neighborhood and original bounce and मतलब उस ज़माने की अच्छी खासी team है. And it's really nice to see the resurgence, and I'm happy that team has come out of Karachi again.
Do you think they're in danger of relegation?
I mean, I would put them there, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So out of the teams, so do you think they're one of the teams that is going to have a tough time?
I mean, C2 is so heavily contested. You can't just say कि एक team जा रही है, because आपस में matchups. I think अभी तो tiebreakers and everything will be आएंगे in place. खैर, we'll talk about this. 1 Unit will definitely need a win under their belt. And hopefully next game they do
And
get
just
one.
briefly about Ronins, I think they did really well to bounce back.
Yeah.
Good leadership from their seniors. And,
Con.
They're there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take some names.
ABD.
There's Khizr. There's
ABD.
there's ABD. Then there's also Nabeeg.
Zerko.
But he's not the senior. Right?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Someone else?
No. I'm missing you. Nobody. I think that's it.
I think that's good. The next game that we're going to review is Raiders versus Void.
Some people are calling it the best game of C2. Ever.
For sure, at least in this season so far,
sure.
It's been incredible.
Previous seasons, I would say.
Yeah. So Void recently promoted side. Raiders, historic team for C2. Slowly and steadily building the chemistry, and they've always, been contenders to come out of C2. It was a great game.
A lot of these kids also, I'll say, Shahzain, that they know each other. They're from rival schools and everything, and like आपस में भी खेलते हैं. So it was a packed house पहले तो atmosphere fully electric था, and it was a great game.
And it was crazy because before the game we usually have a poll to ask which team's going to win, and it was pretty split 50-50.
Yeah.
Void getting 50%, which was shocking to me because they had just come out of the qualifiers. And but Raiders ended up losing. Void.
It was a very close game though.
Very
It
close
was
game.
every quarter the score was 1 point upar, 1 point niche, 1 point upar, 1 point pe khatam.
Lot of back and forth. Lot of back and forth. And then in the end, it just came down to who held their nerves, and I think the veteran presence from Void, who had C1 guys come in like Azan and Bailey, they were able to guide their team.
Actually, Bailey hit a very clutch shot. Azan also hit a good three-pointer, and he was defending. Azan too does all these things, but Bailey hit a very important shot. He missed, unfortunately, the two free throws. He was very upset about it. He was like, "Kaise miss hui?" Yeah, he was very upset about it. But he did his part. I think.
Live and learn.
Yeah,
you get better from the ones you miss.
Yeah, right. And then Abir Jawad, the player of the game for them, he did a bit of everything. He had a lot of good rebounds. He had a few shots here and there. He also was the one who had the ending assist on the last shot that Mikhail hit. And Mikhail hit the game winner. Mikhail just a good, solid young prospect for not just Karachi basketball, I'll say. He's a very young kid who keeps his head down, doesn't trash talk a lot. He gets blocks, just quietly goes down. He had a very impressive turnaround jumper also, which unfortunately missed, but he got this shot in, off the glass and in. And then on the other end, Abir Jawad, Bhalu, affectionately called Bhalu, got the steal on Mubashir. Mubashir had enough time, I think he could have slowed it down, maybe gone to the cup and drawn fouls maybe, but free throws bhi nahi inki lag rahi thi. It was just I think Raiders have probably identified the problem themselves also, but I've said it on commentary, I'll say it again, they need shooting. They need shooters, and Humam, who was their primary scorer, shooter, their playmaker, everything.
He was their leading scorer, and he had 10 points,
but he got in foul trouble, and he got ejected on an offensive foul, which really hurts me. They had, I believe they did not have a timeout, so they could not review on commentary. I wanted them to review. I would have reviewed immediately, and they would have probably as well. But they didn't have a timeout.
Yeah, big call, and it swung the momentum.
Bilkul,
and maybe if he's in, we're talking about a completely different.
For sure. Because Humam, he was very hot. He was hitting threes. He was unguardable, काफी हद तक. But on the defensive end, because they needed him on the defensive end also, he was quite tall, so उन्होंने बड़ों को उनके bigs को guard करना था, तो he got into foul trouble, unfortunately. Could have gone either way still, and I know Raiders are really upset by the loss, and Azan is really happy.
Well, obviously.
Because I bet against him also. Yeah, undefeated. He's
undefeated
really
Void.
happy.
Would have thought after
for Void, in Void's case, they're thinking, we're doing so well without Tahir. So when Tahir comes, so we'll be like,
He's supposed to join back for coming week.
Next week, yeah.
But more about Raiders, I think they and on any other night their scorers would have contributed more, because I think Baloch didn't contribute much. I think Umar Butt didn't contribute much. Mubashir also could do a lot better.
Yeah.
Muiz, the other big guy, could have also done.
Muiz, I think, did not score as it.
I mean, it's tough, and sometimes this happens, but you just have to stay the course and continue to build. Wins and losses are part of the game. And on the other side for Void, everything just clicked.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see where this Void team ends up, because Raiders was, in my book, Raiders was the favorite to come out of C2, and now Void has solidified themselves as a heavy contender. They're already celebrating like they're going to C1. So
I've been reading comments saying they're going 8-0.
8-0, yeah, ऐसे ही चल रहा है. So yeah, they're
Some people are saying they're going to win it all.
On the bench, the people were saying कि first round exit है, लेकिन I will not name them. They were from your team also. So I mean,
I don't know. I wasn't there.
But yeah, no, props to these young kids. I was very happy to see the atmosphere there. I mean, us old heads, we criticize the younger generation, they don't pass, they don't play the right way. But it's encouraging to see so many people love the sport that we love, and they're coming out to support their players, and it was heartwarming to see. I'd like to see more of that happen. Yeah.
The atmosphere was also amazing. Yeah. So much support, and hope to see more of this moving forward.
So a little preview of the week to come, week 3. The first game we're excited for is Raiders versus Malik Trojans. It's going to be battle for, the Raiders have lost to them.
Prior to the season, we would have put these two teams as the favorites along with Ronins before we knew who was even coming out of the qualifiers. Yeah. So it's going to be a great game to watch. Yeah, Trojans are coming off 2 straight wins and a heartbreak loss for Raiders. So Raiders are motivated, but if you look back to last season, The Trojans swept them.
Yeah.
Both games in the regular season and
the plane.
And the plane.
Very cool.
So I'm pretty sure that Raiders have this game marked on their calendar. They want this win.
They probably after the last loss as well. They were probably really motivated. Anyway, next game is Dukes versus T6. It's also going to be a good game because T6, as Shahzain has said, is on a rampage.
Yeah.
But I think Dukes will have something to say to that.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see if anyone can stop T6 right now.
Yeah.
They just seem.
They'll have to stop Red basically. Red is on a rampage right
then
now.
MMR would go on a rampage.
MMR.
So like rampage. That's what it is.
Yeah. Then Checkmate versus one unit. Both teams winless. Both coming off of tough losses.
Someone is going to go home really upset next week.
Yeah.
Both teams believe that they should not be in the position that they're in.
And then आपस में इनकी थोड़ी सी trash talk भी है, थोड़ी सी लगती है आपस में इनकी, तो because they play the same court as well.
Wow.
And that should be interesting to see as well. Anyway, our last game for next week is Void versus Ronins, which should also be a very good game.
Very interesting. Ronin's coming off a big win right now.
Yeah.
They're on a high. And Void, though, as we mentioned,
who knows if Tahir shows up, क्या चलना है, क्या होना है.
What a game! That's a game.
It's gonna be a fun
It's a
game.
great week for C2 games.
Yeah.
Lots of narrative, lots of story.
We'll see you guys next time. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Like, share, and subscribe.
चलो अभी सिर्फ सेव वन हुआ. Look at Umar's message.
Okay. What cake?
There's cake for the meeting. He's saying save me cake. He's in the police station.
Yeah, to be fair to him, if you're in a police station, you deserve cake.